Greetings, my name is Chamomile, and this is an exploration of the entire galaxy sector by sector. Today, we're looking at the Pakuuni Sector in 12th Cerulean Spear Command. Like many other sectors, Pakuuni is the domain of a specific species, governed according to their customs and traditions. In this case, it's the Lamproids of the planet Florn, a jungle death world so dangerous that it's said you can only survive there if you have some kind of enhanced reflexes, like a cybernetic augment or force powers. The Lamproids are themselves venomous bloodsuckers with a culture, if you can call it that, based purely around hunting. Sentient lizards and whales and monkeys all produce art and music and so forth, but not Lamproids. They do what they need to in order to survive, and that's it. When they have plenty of food and water and so forth, they just kind of lie around. No drive for self-actualization. But that's all because they're especially alien aliens. Don't mistake it for stupidity. They're perfectly capable of long-term planning, and some of them joined the Rebel Alliance because the Empire posed a long-term threat to all aliens, especially the unpopular Outer Rim ones. There's also some weird rumors, as is the usual way of the Outer Rim. Supposedly, the planet Munto Kodru is home to the Koju-G species, and Leia Organa took her 3 kids there for a trip to obscure Outer Rim sectors of the New Republic, and the Koju-G have a tradition of highly ritualized kidnapping of political rivals' children, which was used as cover for an actual kidnapping by Imperial remnants. The very vague outline of this may have happened, but there's a lot wrong here. The story refers to Leia's kids as being named Jaina, Jason, and Anakin. Leia had one child, and his name was Ben. Given the ages of Leia's children in this story, this would have been at least 10 years after the Battle of Jakku and the establishment of the New Republic. By that time, the First Order was still many years away from being openly declared, but it existed in practice, and its policy was to avoid antagonizing the New Republic while building strength in the Outer Rim. Kidnapping Leia Organa's child or children is the opposite of that. Other than Leia Organa herself, this story seems purely fictional, but given at least one real person does appear, it's possible that the planet of Munto Kodru and the Koju-G native species are also legit. I want them to be real, because they're 6-legged wolves who somehow metamorphose into 4-armed humanoids during puberty, but although this isn't unheard of, and I don't mean other obscure alien species, I mean like butterflies, an animal which exists on more inhabited planets than not. But this kind of thing does show up more often in spacer tales than in reality. The Koju-G are supposedly xenophobes with little contact with the greater galaxy, which is one of those explanations which, yeah, does explain why they aren't part of the Republic, but it's awfully convenient that the craziest species are always isolationists who never leave their home planet. Of course, I say that, but this sector's confirmed species are the talking lampreys. The story only gets crazier, though. After Jason Solo and his 2 phantom siblings are kidnapped, the Imperial Remnant, who is not Greater Maldruid but some kind of Inquisitor, takes them to Crusade Station in the otherwise uninhabited Crusade system, where this ex-Inquisitor guy had been running experiments on interdimensional travel using hyperspace. Quick, find the dimension where Organa won the 09 election and the First Order was nipped in the bud. Back in reality, the Rebel Alliance fought a number of battles in the Pakuuni Sector after the Battle of Yavin, when the 1-2 punch of the destruction of Alderaan and the destruction of the Death Star led to a lot of Outer Rim sectors joining the open rebellion against the Empire. These early victories are what led the rebels to think the mid-rim offensive would be a good idea. Before the Battle of Yavin, a rebel listening post on Daltara was hunted down by Imperial forces, but after, the rebels won victory after victory at Shaylin 18, Cyrus, and Ton Falk. These were all fleet actions in space, so the planets themselves weren't super important, they were just in the background, but the Pakuuni victories helped shore up the rebels' fledgling control over the very edge of the galaxy, alongside other sectors like Dominus Sector and Calamari Space, becoming a little pocket of the New Republic years before it was formally established.